Are you looking for some direction in these markets? Yeah, most of us are. If you want some advice, listen up right now. We can consult the Oracle of Cycles. Charles Nenner is a professor at Touro College. He is a seer who has called some major market movements, and we've got several examples of that, Professor. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Welcome.
Well, we've talked about some of the calls that you made. One was back in the summer of 2006 when you called it on housing and said, yeah, don't buy that house, stay away from it. Also in that summer of 2006, you talked about how it would eventually, after some major market moves, be a good year for stocks, and it was. So what are you seeing right now?
In December, I came in and I said everybody out of the market.
Right.
So what we did, we're out of the market. In the meantime, we have a short trade, and we start buying back already. As you remember, I said it's going to be very volatile. When a 15% down, 50% up, 50% down. So it's not as simple as when I came, excuse me, in 2006, when I said we're going to Dow 14,500, because we have all these volatile movements. So right now, we're long. I expect a flat market and a good second half of April. And then we'll probably have from the low back 15% up, like I was predicting. And then maybe we could have some trouble again. And like I mentioned in December, in the end of the year, it's like nothing happened. So in the end of the year, we should be back to the highs. I think corporate profits are going to pick up the second half of the year, and people will be surprised that actually almost everything is over and we go back up.
You mentioned when you were here, I believe in December of this past year, that we would see 3 or 4 of these 10 to 15% moves. We've seen a couple of them already. You expect that we're going to see at least 1 or 2 more?
I expect a couple of more, yeah. And then ending flat, which means it's from last year, which means for 14,000 plus again on the Dow. And then we could go high after that also.
You know, a lot of people have questions about how you figure this out. There's a lot of different pieces that go, different components that go into it.
Yeah, I cannot explain in such a short time. It's just not. I hear a lot on the media people say, you feel the market's going up or down. If you go in an airplane, you don't ask the pilot, do you feel the airplane goes up or down? You want to know, you know what's going to happen. So the question that is being put to a lot of people, what do you feel is going to happen, already implies that you cannot know what happens.
Right.
So I always come in and I give an exact date and I give it an exact level, and there's a way of explaining how it's being done. It's just very early in the morning and I cannot do it right now.
But you think we've seen the lows on the Dow for the year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We have.
Yeah.
When did you decide to go long again? When did you get out of the short positions?
The target I had was 12,200 on the Dow. I think we hit that. My target was 1240 on the S&P. We missed it by 1%. And then we started buying some Dow. And then I had special stocks that I bought already that had cycles that bottomed before the whole market bottomed.
Which stocks were those?
We got into DuPont. We got in NOV, XLE. I think energy and emerging markets are the place to be. We bought the EEM. We bought the FXI. I think there's a new mania coming up because of the low interest rates, and it's going to be in energy stocks and overseas market. What usually happens is those are markets that do well based on fundamentals, and once that interest rates go down and liquidity gets better, then it becomes a mania, and people get in, they don't know why they should be in there. So I think that's the place for the next years to be.
You got a forecast on crude? Do you do that?
Yeah, I have a forecast on crude, yeah.
Where's that going?
My crude cycles are up into the middle of 09. I had a short-term target on the May crude of 109.50, plus minus, but this is going to take it to the middle of 09.
I realize some of the charts you brought along with you look at quarterly unemployment numbers and the monthly non-farm payrolls. What do you get out of let's say, the monthly non-farm payrolls?
Yeah, because most people look from number to number, so I built the cycles on the employment, because the employment actually is what should be watched now. And we see that the cycle on the employment shows higher unemployment into the third quarter, could go as high as 5.5, and lower non-farm payrolls into the third quarter. And it may be, everybody knows, but still interesting to mention that about 6 months before these cycles turn, the market turns up already.
Right.
So don't think, we're looking for more unemployment and we don't buy. No, already before that, the market is going to make a turn and becomes positive.
Okay, so you're joining the number of people, including Bob Dahl, who have said this could be the bottom. Maybe we don't turn straight up, but we may have bottomed out.
Yeah, but the volatility is not finished yet, like the 2 big moves up and down.
Okay. Professor, I want to thank you very much for coming in today.